video, I'm planning on going over how to convert between different metric unit prefixes. So just as a reminder, metric prefixes are things such as centi. So let's say we have centimeters. So the centi is equal to 10 to the negative 2. Let's say milli, this is equivalent to 10 to the negative 3. So like millimeters would be an example that you've probably heard of. Kilograms, so kilo is equivalent to 10 to the third. Nano is equivalent to 10 to the minus 9. And you can find all of these prefixes on, so I'm looking at a table in this textbook that I have, and this is General Organic and Biological Chemistry by Timberlake, and this is the 6th edition. And I'm looking at table 2.5, and this is called metric and SI prefixes. So pretty much all chemistry books will have a table with these metric prefixes. You can also find tables with them online. So if, let's say, for instance, you had a prefix, like let's say we have picometers, and let's say that you didn't know what pico was, you could look at this table or look it up online, and you would find that pico is equivalent to 10 to the negative 12. So what we want to do is, if we're given a metric number, or a number that's in metric with a prefix, and let's say we want to convert from one prefix to another prefix. So let's say we have 95 microliters, and we want to convert this to, I'm going to convert this to milliliters, nanoliters, megaliters, and pico liters. So these are all just different units, and this is, so we can write the same number in all of these different units, and it's still the same number, it's just with different units. So it's kind of like the difference between, say, mile and kilometer. It's going to be the same number, it's just in different units. So this is, so the first thing I want to do, I usually approach these problems in 2 steps. There's a lot of different ways to do this, so if you see a way that makes more sense to you for how to do it, then do it that way, but this is how I like to do it. So the first thing I like to do is convert, or not, it's not really convert, I like to write the number out with the prefix. So basically, so this is 95.0 microliters. I want to write this in liters. And the way that I do that is I know that micro is 10 to the minus 6. So, and if I didn't know that, I could find it on a table. So 95.0, and then micro times 10 to the minus 6 liters. So I have my number in liters. So now what I can do is I can convert it into these other units. So I want to convert it into milliliters, nanoliters, megaliters, and pico liters. So 95.0 times 10 to the minus 6 liters. And you can do this with any prefix. So just to back up a little bit, let's say that this had been 95.0 milliliters. Well, then this would be equal to 95.0 times 10 to the minus 3 liters, because milli is negative 3. Or let's say that you have 95.0 centiliters. This is equal to 95.0 times 10 to the negative 2 liters. Or let's do one more. Let's say that we have 95.0 kiloliters. This would be equal to 95.0 times 10 to the third liters. So whatever whatever I'm converting, the first thing I do is I write it out with the prefix written out. So in this case, since I have micro, this would be 95 times 10 to the minus 6 liters. And I'm going to erase these. So now what I want to do is the first thing I want to do is convert this into milliliters. So what I need to do is write a conversion factor for this, and I need the liters to cancel, so I want liters on the bottom and I want milliliters on the top. And what's going to happen when I write in the correct conversion factor is the liters will cancel and I'll be left with milliliters. So if we didn't know this conversion factor, we would go look at our table and it should tell you some conversion factors. So I'm looking at a column that says equality. So for this one 1 milliliter is equal to 10 to the minus 3 liters. And this could also be written as 1 liter is equal to 10 to the third milliliters. So these are the conversion factors that we can use. You could use either of these. So I'm going to use this one. So I want liter on the bottom, so I have 1 liter, and then I have 10 to the third milliliters. So this would be 10 to the third. And then if I work through this math, so just 95 times 10 to the negative 6 times 10 to the third, liters cancel, I end up with 95 times 10 to the negative 3 milliliters. This is also equal to 0.095 milliliters. And I could have used either conversion factor. So I just want to show you that real quick. So I used this one. I could have used this one, and if I had have used this top one, then I would have put the 10 to the negative 3 in by the liters and 1 with the milliliter. So I have 1 milliliter is equal to 10 to the minus 3 liters. And then I still end up with the same answer when I work through that math. Okay, now let's convert this to nanoliters. So we've done milliliters. 95 times 10 to the minus 6 liters. And I want to convert this to nanoliters. So I just do the same thing. I need to write a conversion factor, and I'm going to want liters on the bottom and nanoliters on the top. So what I do is I go look at my table and I write down what the conversions are for these two. Well, so there's two possible conversion factors that I could use, and I want to show you both because I want you to realize that you can use either one and you'll get the same answer. So 1 nanoliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 9 liter, and 1 liter is equal to 1 times 10 to the 9th nanoliter. And this makes sense because nanoliters are really small, so like they're much smaller than a liter. So it makes sense that we have a lot of nanoliters in 1 liter, or with this other conversion we have 1 nanoliter in a really small portion of the liter. So then we can we can pick one of these to use as our conversion. I'm going to use this one. So I have liter on the bottom, so this is 1 liter, and then I have nanoliter on the top, so this is 1 times 10 to the 9th nanoliter. So then I can go through this math. I have 95 times 10 to the minus 6 liters times 1 times 10 to the 9th, and this is equal to 9.50 times 10 to the 4th nanoliters, or this can be written as 95,000 nanoliters. And just like the last one I did, we could have used this conversion factor as well, and we would have ended up with the same answer. So if I put that in, I have 1 nanoliter over 1 times 10 to the minus 9 liters. And so then if I take 95.0 times 10 to the negative 6 divided by 1 times 10 to the negative 9 liters, you end up with the same answer. So you can use either of these conversions. Okay, so that was the nanoliters. Now let's do the megaliters. So to convert to megaliters, I want to start with my same number again. So I have 95.0 times 10 to the negative 6 liters. And I need to, I'm going to do a conversion again, so I need to write my conversion factor. Once again, I want the liters to cancel, so I'm going to want liters on the bottom. I'm converting to megaliters, so I want megaliters on the top. And so this is where, if I didn't know that mega was 10 to the 6th, I would go look it up on a table in your book or online, and I would find that 1 megaliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the 6 liters, or 1 liter is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 6 megaliters. And once again, I could use either conversion. So I'm going to specify that. Can use either. So I have, so I'm going to use this one. So I have liters on the bottom. So I want 1 liter, and then I want the megaliters is on the top. So 1 liter is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 6 megaliters. And so then if I go through this math, so 95 times 10 to the negative 6 liters times 1 times 10 to the negative 6 megaliters, this is equal to 99.50 times 10 to the negative 11th megaliters. And then, like the other two, I could have used this conversion factor as well, and I would have ended up with the same answer. Okay, so I'm going to erase this and then do picoliters. So now I'm doing picoliters, and if I didn't know that pico was times 10 to the negative 12, or to the negative 12, I would either look it up on a table in a book or online, and I would find that 1 picoliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 12 liters, or 1 liter is equal to 1 times 10 to the 12 picoliters. So these are the conversion factors, and we could use either. So we're converting from, well, microliter to liter to picoliter. I've already converted this into liter by writing it with the prefix written out as 10 to the negative 6. So now I just need to convert this to picoliters. And I want the liters to cancel, so I'm putting liters on the bottom. And I am converting into picoliters, so I put the pico on top. And so then I can pick either of these. I'm just going to pick this one. So I have 1 picoliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 12 liters. And if I work through the math on this, I will get that this is equal to, so what I'm doing is I have 95.0 times 10 to the negative 6 liters. I'm dividing it by 1 times 10 to the negative 12 liters. And I end up with 9.5 times 10 to the 7th picoliters, or, and this is in scientific notation, if I wrote this in regular notation, it would be 95 with 6 zeros, because I'm moving the decimal point over 1, and then I still have 10 to the 6 after I move this over 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picoliters. And I can check this by just converting this number back into scientific notation. So if I put the decimal here, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is equal to 9500000 is equal to 9.5 times 10 to the 7 picoliters. So I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.